A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Arena Manchester International Swim Meet 2021. Time to hear from the Lord Mayor of Manchester, Tommy Judge.
Hello, I'm Councillor Tommy Judge, and as the Lord Mayor of Manchester, I'm delighted to be sending you this greeting on behalf of everybody in the city. It is an honour and a privilege to have this opportunity to extend a very warm welcome to all elite swimmers competing at this year's Manchester International Swim Meet, albeit in these difficult and unprecedented times for us all. I am sure this well-established annual event at the Manchester Aquatic Centre will see some top-class performances over the course of the next few days. This great event venue is a legacy of the Manchester Commonwealth Games in 2002 and is not only home of the GB Paralympic swim team but also records over 1 million visits every year, showing that elite swimmers can train successfully alongside the general public. With the Olympic and Paralympic Games drawing ever closer, I hope this competition provides each of you with the best platform to allow you to achieve your ambitions in Tokyo. I'm also sure you will join me in thanking the many referees and officials, management workforce, volunteers, contractors who have all worked tirelessly to make this event happen. The city sees once again the bringing together of a well-established partnership with Manchester City Council and Manchester Active, British Swimming, the City of Manchester Swim Team, Greenwich Leisure as the facilities operator and Arena as the sponsor. Unfortunately for me, but understandably in these restricted times, I am not able to attend the event to meet you personally, but I am sending my sincere best wishes to those of you competing and all who are involved. Finally, and in better times, I hope to see you again in Manchester very soon. Goodbye for now and best of luck to you all. Take care.
Lovely to hear from Councillor Tommy Judge there, the Lord Mayor of Manchester. We are here, we are live from the Manchester Aquatic Centre for the Manchester International Swim Meet, sponsored by Arena, put on by the Manchester City Council, the City of Manchester Aquatic Swim Team and British Swimming. That sounds like a lot of chefs, you'd be correct. But they are whipping up quite the menu for us this evening, let me tell you. A lot of organisation gone into this meet just to make it happen in the first place. So much work behind the scenes from so many different people, not least our athletes training hard in the background. A great opportunity for our national pathway swimmers in both the Olympic and Paralympic programmes to showcase their stuff in front of the world against each other here in Manchester. Very good evening to all of you watching wherever you may be. My name's Stephen Jameson. I'll be guiding you through tonight and indeed tomorrow as well, where we've got 2 more sessions to come of this meet. As for tonight, we've got a good lineup for you as well. We kick things off with the women's 400 metres individual medley. It's then the men's 50 backstroke, women's 200 freestyle, men's 200 IM, women's 100 backstroke, men's 50 breast, women's 50 fly, men's 100 free, women's 100 breast, and men's 200 fly. Got top quality international swimmers wherever you look from both the para-swimming and Olympic swimming programs here in Great Britain, as well as a few international guests as well from foreign swimmers based in on these shores. Got loads on the way for you. Holly Hibbert, Freya Anderson, Abby Wood go head to head in the 200 free. Joe Litchfield will look to fight off Jacob Greenhow and Andreas Vizaios in the 200 IM. How about James Wilby versus Adam Peaty versus David Murphy in the 50 breast? What about an international flavour? Marie Wattel versus Louise Hansen in the women's 50 fly, France versus Sweden. Women's 100 breaststroke could well be the headline event. Molly Renshaw, Sarah Vasey, Jocelyn Ulliet, all in great form. It's got Ellie Simmons, Louise Fidders and Maisie Summers-Newton going in the para version of that race as well. We round off the night with what could be a great race. James Guy and Max Litchfield, two seasoned international swimmers. Both have been in pretty good form all the way through this event so far, and both went within 100th of a second of each other this morning in the 200 fly. So loads to come, hopefully some really close races, hopefully some really good times too. We saw some brilliant swims yesterday. 3 British records broken. Well, 1 equalled technically, but 3 British record swims either way. Jordan Catchpole, Ellie Chalice, setting new British standards in the S14 butterfly and the S3 backstroke, and Molly Renshaw tying the British record in the 200 metres breaststroke. Here come our first swimmers of the night then. 400 IM, 4 swimmers within it. Isabel Goodwin goes in lane 3 for City of Leeds. Next to her is Lily Booker, who qualified through this morning quickest, not by much but by enough, in front of Freya Colbert, who swims for Nova Centurion. She goes in lane 5. And Alice Deering from Loughborough University, the signature Alice Deering wave, we'll call that. Saw a post about it on Twitter yesterday. She loves watching TV, and ever since she was a kid watching the athletes, she always used to love it when they gave a wave to the camera. She's now decided to make that something that she does as well. Great to see Alice enjoying her swimming again. Not seen so many of these swimmers in what feels like such a long time. It is so good to be back. And a great race to open us up on night number 2 of the Manchester International Meet. All the way first time. And last to emerge in lane 4 is Lily Booker. Millfield swimmer in the green cap going against the Nova Centurion swimmer in the green cap. Freya Colbert the younger. A few years as well. Really promising young swimmer is Freya Colbert. Has a personal best in this event of 4:43, which she swam in the European Juniors in 2019 in Kazan in Russia. She goes up against Lily Booker here, who's got a slightly slower personal best, but can Freya go somewhere near that PB today? That'd be some achievement. It's Alice Deering who leads at the moment, meanwhile. A swimmer who can do it all, really. All the strokes. Great distance work as well, Alice Deering. One of Britain's finest open water swimmers. Here's Alice. As well as being a fine 400 individual medley swimmer. Really has got the lot. Lost some ground here though on the backstroke leg. This is where Freya Colbert and Lily Booker have come to the fore. Coming on to the breaststroke leg. Let's see what the leading ladies have in store for us. It's Colbert who is to the wall first, 4/10 in front of Lily Booker, and 5 seconds in front of the rest of the field, Isabel Goodwin and Alice Deering. And is this the moment where Lily Booker makes her move? She's a strong breaststroker. She was quite close to her personal best this morning. It's 4:52.04. Swam that in Geneva, start of 2020. And just some very rudimentary math tells me she's going to be quite close. Signs are good. And she's made strides ahead of Freya Colbert at least. So Booker first to the wall in the breaststroke, and now it's all about the free. Freya Colbert with a decent chunk of work to do. Might well just be too much even with this much of the race to go. Looking there at Lily Booker, who is nearly over the hills and far away here. Been a strong swim from Lily so far. Usually a ginormous Millfield cohort at any national event. It's not the case here this week. Only a few of them about. It's good to see Lily swimming so well. She's going to get a really quick time. It's a great swim from Lily Booker. 4:44.73. I make that a big new PB. Freya Colbert in 4:50.43. Knocks a decent chunk off her morning time. And in come Isabel Goodwin and Alice Deering just inside the 5-minute mark. Both of them shaving another big chunk off their morning times. A great swim there from Lily Booker of Millfield. Tremendous work from her. Big new PB. 4:44.73. And that will stand her in very good stead as she continues her fledgling career in the sport. Still a long way to go yet for Lily Booker, but time on her side, and the youngster from Millfield is still showing lots and lots of promise. Our standard 2-minute break in between our races. If you're new to the meet, that's due to COVID protocols. We're just making sure all the pool deck is clean and sterilised for our swimmers, for our new swimmers to make their way onto the pool side. Four in our first race, 3 in our second. It's the men's 50 back. Charlie Brown from the city of Sheffield goes in lane 3. Jacob Peters from Bath goes in lane 4, and Jonathan Adam, his teammate, is in 5. And go our swimmers then. Bit of a ripple up in the stands from a few of their teammates at the Bath National Centre. It's Brown in 3, Peters in 4, Adam in 5. This one will be over before you know it. 50 metres backstroke. Away in racing. It's a good start made in lane 5. Jonathan Adam got away slightly better, but Jacob Peters now is starting to chew up the water. He's got a marginal lead, but back comes Jonathan Adam, who's going to touch him out. He found a second win, didn't he? Jonathan Adam, that's a great win from him. 26.3 for Jonathan Adam. Jacob Peters just fading towards the end there. We'll see what the confirmed times are going to be. I'm just hearing a couple of whispers in my ear that might not stay as they are, so just bear with us whilst we get the confirmed results to you. Seems like they're going to be confirmed though. Indeed it is. Jacob Peters having led for a big chunk of it. In the end, taken over in first and then second. Good work from Charlie Brown to take second place. Great swim from Jonathan Adam to take the victory. 26.3 for the Bath swimmer. Been mentioning our Paralympic swimmers are here as well. Not all of them, but a good sizable chunk of the national programme. We've got 3 coming up in our next race in the multi-class 50 metre backstroke. Including the man who broke 2 British records yesterday, Jordan Catchpole. Broke his own record in the morning, tied it in the evening, so I guess he only broke it once, but I'm going to count that as 2. Here come the boys then. Lyndon Longhorn leads them out. S5 swimmer from Derwent side. There is Jordan Catchpole with a big puff out of the cheeks. Rhys Davies accompanies him out onto the pool deck with that shock of blonde hair. S14 swimmer from Swansea University. This is a multi-class race, so it enables swimmers from different sporting classes to swim alongside each other and have one result come the end of it. But when 2 or more of them are swimming in the same class, it becomes a little bit easier to follow because they still will race against each other. There's no way an S14 can finish behind an S14 and win the race. But for Lyndon Longhorn, he will finish in 3rd place, at least touching the wall. but he still will have a chance to win it based on how close he is to his sport class's respective world record. I'm sure plenty of you are familiar by now with the multi-class system, but just in case you aren't, if you're still a little bit confused, all will become clear after this race, I promise. Look good to go down on the pool deck then. Jordan Catchpole was quickest earlier on. 29.43 was his opening gambit this morning. And he does own the British record in this event, set that in Luton in 2019 at the East Regional Championships. It was a big arch at the back to get himself away. Great underwater. Jordan Catchpole, he's up into his stroke. How quick can he go? Are we looking to knock off his personal best, which is 28.63? And he's going to go close. In towards the wall he goes. It will be Catchpole. He'll be just outside that British record standard, I think. 28.94 though is very good indeed. 0.3 off that British record pace. Great effort from Jordan Catchpole. He wins the race with 802 points, but can Lyndon Longhorn stop him? Don't think he will be doing so. In comes Lyndon. Into the wall, and he will close with 177 points. So all on points, Jordan Catchpole, Rhys Davies and Lyndon Longhorn. Good swim from Jordan Catchpole. His good weekend continues. Official results are in. Jordan Catchpole wins the race, 28.94 the time. A few tenths off that British record standard. And worth pointing out as well, in case you weren't watching last night, there's no medals at this event. It is, in that way, almost a de facto time trial. But there are definitely winners and losers from our races. And we are still ranking them in terms of a virtual podium, but there's no medals to be handed out at this event. The swimmers are all swimming for experience, for time. Feeling of competition again. It has been a long time. Almost ready to go with our next event, which is a humdinger of a race. Here come the girls. .200 freestyle with some big hitters in those middle lanes. Emily Large of Newcastle goes in lane number 1. Slevin, Devencio XL swimmer, goes in 2. Holly Hibbert is in an outside lane in lane 3. She prefers a slightly longer distance to 200. Freya Anderson in 4. Abby Woods in 5. Those really are the 3 to watch, you'd say. The ones who are really going to challenge the times under that 2-minute mark. Tamron Van Selm, the youngster from Millfield rather, is in 6. Leah Crisp formerly of Leeds, now of Bath, goes in 7. And another youngster on the outside as well, that's Betsy Wizard of Northampton in lane 8. Here we go then, great race in prospect. Large in 1, Slevin 2, Hibbert 3, Anderson 4, Wood 5, Van Selm 6, Crisp 7, Wizard 8. All the way first time, lovely underwater work by Abby Woods, who's the last to emerge and gets into her stroke in front of the rest of the pack. Had a good meet so far, Abby Woods, from a brilliant 200 metre breaststroke last night. A race in which Molly Renshaw equalled the British record and set a new PB for the first time in best part of 5 years. The fantastic British breaststroker. Second place was Abby Woods, and she wasn't too far behind either. Big PB in that event for Abby Woods. All eyes will be on her in her 200 metre IM, which is her specialist event. Has been something of a downfall for her in the past when she has swum too much because of her versatility, but she's starting to condense down now in the last couple of years, and I think it's been to her benefit. 200 metres seems to be her optimal distance, and right now she looks very good, leading at the halfway stage by half a second in front of Freya Anderson, who, by all admissions, is more of a sprinter. $15,100 is really Freya's world, but she's still a very competitive swimmer over 200, don't you worry about that. She's right up there with Abby Wood here. It's going to be a good battle, I think, for first place. Holly Hibbert and Tamrin Van Selm currently 3rd and 4th. Now then, as we come towards home, what sort of time can we see here? Final 15 metres and absolutely all to play for. It's Abby Wood who has the margin at the moment as they come under the flags, not by a lot, but I think by enough. Does Freya Anderson get there? Not quite. 400ths of a second. 1:57.96 for Abby Wood. Fantastic swim from Abby. Just in front of Freya Anderson, and she's got a lot of support as well up in the stands from her Loughborough cohort. It's another big swim. Big new PB, I think, that for Abby Wood. I make it. The previous one was 1:59.96. 1:57.96 is 2 seconds off it. She's flying at the moment. I'll wait to watch what she's got for us in the rest of this weekend. Freya Anderson 2nd, Holly Hibbert 3rd. We've got a short break now due to an event missing from the programme, but the timeline remains unaltered. We'll come back very shortly with the men's 200 metres individual medley. Before that, though, some messages from some of Manchester's own, talking to Manchester City Council about the impact of the year 2020. Stay with us.
My name's Daisy and I'm 10 years old. Oh, well, it's changed because we have done lots of Zoom calls instead of actually seeing people, and in lockdown it was mostly just like backing up a bit from the door, knocking on like your family's houses and like just saying hi to them and seeing how they are, and then not being able to give them a cuddle. It's not very fun anymore. Made me feel very sad not knowing that I can run up to my grandma or my Nana Jean and my Nana Jean's partner Alan, just making sure I can give them a big cuddle, but I can't now. We have seen her one time. We went up for the day and had like a little picnic there, and then we went back into lockdown, so we can't see her now, and we don't want to go round give them something and make them ill, and then we're the ones who have gave it them. And she keeps sending me cards because I can't see her. And in the card she's gave me little quizzes and little games to do. And it's very nice for her to do that, and I send her little cards back, or if we've not got any cards or anything, I just call her and say thanks for it, and I'll try and get it back to you. I miss her very, 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 very much. Everyone's moaning about it and wanting it to go away so they can see their friends and their family, but the only way we can do that is making sure you're social distancing, wearing a mask and sanitising your hands and washing them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going down to my Nana Jean's, giving them a big cuddle and getting everything back to normal, like making sure I can go swimming, I can go to a trampoline park, and I can do all the fun stuff again and just get life back to normal. Even if you're getting bored at home, you've probably got loads of things that you can do. You can make stuff, and you just need to do your bit in making sure you're keeping everyone else safe, and that's how we can get back to normal. This is one of the letters from my Nana Jean. Hi Daisy. I hope you're being a good girl for your mummy. I wish I could come down and see you, but as soon as all these things go away and it's safe for me to travel on the train, I will. I will come down and sleep at your house, and maybe we could go on a walk in the park. Love you loads, love you very much, Nana Jean, Alan.
My name's Jill, I'm 55 and I work in a care home. Difficult, hard, because obviously families can't come in now, can't see their relatives can't go out and spend time with their families. And I think it's been difficult because they've not really understood why they've not been able to, see their, daughter, son, granddaughter. It's been quite difficult. Sometimes families have come to the window, to see their relative, and it's that touching. That's what, they're not getting, that's what they're missing. So to see a relative on one side of the window and, we're with the resident on the other side, and all they can do is put the hand on the window. So it can be quite upsetting, quite emotional to see that. Sometimes, especially after a 12-hour day, I go home and obviously I'm there by myself. I have a little cry, but then I just kind of like, nope, soldier it up. Tomorrow's another day. It is tiring, and I get that you're getting fed up. I think if we all work together, carry on doing what we're supposed to be doing, and then we'll come out of it soon. And then all these families that, they'll be able to come back together again. So if we work together, then families that have been apart can come together.
There are some lovely messages there. And we're almost ready to get back underway with our swimming. It's the men's 200 IM that's up next. We've got one race for the Olympic programme and one for the Paralympics national pathway as well. We kick off with these lads, make their way over to the pool deck. William Riley goes in lane 1, from Bath. James McFadden is in second. Jacob Green now goes third in lane 3. Joe Litchfield is in lane 4. He was quickest through in this event this morning. Looked really good, did Joe Litchfield, I must say. Andreas Vazaios has historically a quicker time to his name, but was lagging a bit behind this morning. We'll wait and see if Andreas has it in the locker to bring it back this evening. Andreas swims at Loughborough University. He's one of our international swimmers. He's representing Greece at this event. He swims out of Loughborough, so too does Luke Greenbank, who you'll recognise from such films as the 200-metre backstroke. Doesn't often swim the medley, does Luke, but he's a fine medley swimmer. He's just an exceptional backstroker. Gruggy Butler and Cam Brooker make up the remainder of this men's 200-metre individual medley final. It's got an interesting dynamic, this one. Got a genuine backstroke specialist, so Luke Greenbank at some stage will have an early lead. You'd imagine, at least. He's a good fly swimmer, is Luke Greenbank, and he got the best start there as well. Fantastic off the blocks, which, considering it's not something he'll spend a whole lot of time practicing, is front dive there. Absolutely exceptional in a way. So used to starting in the water, of course. Look at that for a start from Luke Greenbank, who's decided his best method of success in this race is to empty the gas tank in the first 100 metres, see what he's got left. Vazaios, as you can see, though, is a smooth backstroker. He's not too far behind, ready to pounce next to Luke Greenbank. Litchfield going along just fine in lane 4. James McFadden going well in lane 2 as well. In fact, he touches just in front of Litchfield. That's the front 4 in this one. Into the breaststroke we go then. You can see this is where Vazaios and Litchfield are going to start to rein them in. It's a great start from Luke Greenbank and decent work again from James McFadden. But this is where Vazaios, Litchfield and Greenhow really stamp their authority on this race. And the middle 3 lanes for a reason. And as they reach the wall, it's Vazaios who leads them home, followed by Litchfield, followed by Greenbank, then Greenhow, then McFadden. Final 30 metres, and Vazaios has got some company. Joe Litchfield finishing strongly. He's got that South Yorkshire grit instilled within him. Can he rein in Andreas Vazaios? Is going to go down to the wall. I think Andreas gets it, but it's very close. He does just touch out Joe Litchfield. Really good swim from Andreas Vazaios. Just a shade over the 2-minute mark with 2:01.54. 900ths of a second quicker than Joe Litchfield in second place. How about that from Luke Greenbank, holding on to third. Not bad for a backstroker. Confirm results on our screens right now. Vazaios 2:01.54. Excellent swim from the Greek. Joe Litchfield and Luke Greenbank second and then third. Paraswimmers are up next in the men's 200 IM. Let's see what Jacob Leach, Dylan Broom and Jordan Catchpole can produce for us. Then got 2 more races until our mid-session break. We'll see the women's 100 metre backstroke coming up. Georgia Davies and Chloe Golding in action. And then Hannah Russell and Katie Crowhurst in our para race. We'll then have a reasonably lengthy break. And we're back just after half an hour. And we get going again with a great race, don't worry. 50 metre breaststroke to get us back and underway. PT, Wilby, Murphy all in action in that one. The explanation for that big break in between sessions, by the way, is just to ensure that everyone is kept as separate as possible. There's 3 warm-up slots for each session, and with the pool and the pool deck needing to be sanitised between each one and distance maintained throughout, it's not possible without installing a break into the session itself. Otherwise our third warm-ups would be lining up to swim, which is not exactly what they want. 2 pools here at Manchester. For those who don't know, there's a full Olympic-sized pool in the basement. It's one of the most unique facilities, certainly in the UK. Great place to swim and a great place to train as well. The para-swimming squad have their base here, as well as the City of Manchester Aquatics swim team. Jordan Catchpole getting himself psyched up again. It was only a few minutes ago that he was swimming in his last race. It feels like. Swimming that 50 metre backstroke. And he's ready to go in the 200 IM as well. Similar situation to this race as the last. We've got 1 SM9 swimmer. That's Jacob Leach from Cockermouth. And Dylan Broom and Jordan Catchpole in lanes 4 and 5 are both SM14 swimmers. And Jordan's been by far one of the busiest swimmers of the meet so far. So he's left plenty in the tank for the 200 IM. And away we go then. Leach, Broom and Catchpole into the 200 IM fray. And the clue is in the lane seedings. Catchpole was beaten this morning by Dylan Broom, who enters this event the quickest. Dylan swam 2:21.49 this morning, so a couple of seconds quicker than Jordan. Again, difficult to read too much into these times at this event in the mornings, particularly at the best of times. But with the uncertainty around swimmers' moods and feelings and training and competition, all that sort of malarkey is just a bit uncertain at the moment for obvious reasons. But Jordan has been swimming a busy programme. It would make sense for him to be saving himself for the finals, and that's certainly what it looks like he's done so far, as he leads the way at the halfway stage by a second and a half on Dylan Broom. So a good start from Jordan Catchpole. Broom then with work to do, and he's a good breaststroker. He's got the ability to turn this over. Just see the lead is diminishing ever so slightly. May well all come down to the freestyle here, the way things are looking. Jacob Leach will finish last, at least in terms of touching the wall. Not too much doubt about that. But he could still win the race depending on just how quick he goes. Mentioned it could be a straight shootout. That's what we've got then. Final 25 metres for Jordan Catchpole and Dylan Broom to leave it all out there. It's Catchpole who leads. It's Broom who's catching. Can he catch Catchpole? Under the flags they go, and Jordan's going to have too much for him, I think. He takes the touch and a really good swim. 2:19.24 from Jordan Catchpole. 779 multi-class points. And just in front then of Jacob Leach, who takes 712. Good respectable time himself with 2:29.59. Very nicely done from all of our swimmers there. Confirmed results are there for you. Easy enough to rank in the end, don't have to worry about points. It was the same as the order in the time standings as well. Catchpole with the win, Broom second, Leach third. One more race to come then, or two more races I should say to come, one event to come before our mid-session break. It's the women's 100 metre backstroke. Got 5 swimmers from the Olympic programme first up, and then 2 in the Paralympic programme to come after as Hannah Russell takes on Katie Crowhurst. And good racing potential here in the next one, women's 100 back. We've got Georgia Davies, Chloe Golding going toe to toe. Energy Standard versus New York Breakers in the water here at the Manchester International Meet. Here come the swimmers then, led out by a couple from Plymouth Leander. First Sophie Freeman and then Honey Osrin. Sophie and Honey both younger swimmers towards the start of their careers. Georgia Davies still very much in her prime, phenomenal backstroker. Chloe Golding somewhere in the middle, swims here at the City of Manchester Aquatics. Lauren Cox from the City of Coventry goes in lane 6. Many a high hope for Lauren's swimming future as well. So 100 metre backstroke about to get underway. they do go. Georgia Davies will be the big favourite. British record holder over 50 metres, and just in general a very, very talented backstroker. Loves the sprint events. What can she produce here? It's a strong lead over Chloe Golding and Honey Osrin, who are in second and third. As we come towards the finish, it's going to be a comfortable victory for Georgia Davies. What sort of time will we see? It's just a shade over the 60-second barrier, 61.96 for Georgia. Honey Osrin with a great swim, tucked in behind her, not too far back at all, takes second place, the youngster from Plymouth Leander. Georgia there, fairly comfortable. She was looking to make it to her third Olympic Games last year. Swam the 100 back in London and then in Rio, as well as being part of the medley relay team in the Rio Games. Not too many who go to 3 Olympics. Georgia will be desperate to be part of that exclusive club. Final race then before the break. It's the women's 100 metre backstroke multi-class final. Hannah Russell against Katie Crowhurst. Both these swimmers have similar impairments. They're both visually impaired, which means their times aren't too drastically apart. Will be a fairly close race in that sense, but Katie has a huge task on her hand. She's a youngster at the very start of her career, based out of Wickham District. Hannah Russell has been there and done it on the biggest stages in the para swimming world. She's a top international athlete. Multiple international medalist. Gold in this event in Rio in 2016, as well as the 50 metre freestyle. Let's see what Hannah's got in store for us here in Manchester. She's been swimming here for a long time, has Hannah Russell. Knows this pool inside out. Russell in lane 4, Crowhurst in lane 5. Decent underwater from Russell, who's up into her stroke. And they see the strength of the work from Hannah, using the lane ropes as a guide. Tactic often used by our visually impaired swimmers. just to keep them online. Hannah now an expert at it. What sort of time can we see then as we come towards the wall? And 50 metres to go. Another great bit of underwater work from Hannah Russell. She wants to go quicker than she swam this morning. That'll be her sort of bare minimum standard. 72.74 this morning. Then she go underneath that in the evening. Into the wall we go, and 1:10.49 for Hannah Russell. That's pretty good indeed. Healthy chunk of multi-class points. The closer to 1,000, the better. And that's representative of the world record. Great swim from Hannah, who still owns the world record, incidentally, from that Paralympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. It's 66.06. A few seconds off that, but a good swim nevertheless from Hannah Russell. That will do us then for our first half of this evening's session. We do have a break now until the second half of it. We return, don't forget, with the men's 50 metres breaststroke. Adam Peaty and James will be in action, and we'll be returning at 5 to 7. Which is a little bit over half an hour, I think. Yeah, 35 minutes time. We will be back at 5 to 7 for the second half of our evening session here at the Manchester International Swim Meet. Pop the kettle on. We'll see you in a sec.
Hi, I'm Sid. I use he, him pronouns. I'm 19 and I'm a student. I get a lot of enjoyment from seeing other people, so I'm very social. I see people quite a lot, and there was definitely a lot more of meeting up with people after lectures or going to a coffee shop or something. I never really went out, like out drinking or something much, but I think the biggest difference is kind of the university side of it, seeing people in campus or meeting up with them. The fact that most classes are online is a huge change because, I mean, we're used to being in a lecture hall full of people and you can't kind of turn around and speak to whoever's next to you. And I don't know, I found actually engaging with the work material harder because if there's something I don't get, I have to wait till after the lecture and then ring my friend and be like, oh, what was this about? And generally not having been on campus, like you're kind of stuck in your room all day rather than wandering around different buildings or sitting in a park or something. I've definitely felt very lonely. I think isolation is one of my biggest triggers for some of my mental health issues, and I've definitely felt it. I think it would kind of be rare to meet a student who hasn't had some kind of struggle with it. I mean, in general, students' mental health is tends to be bad anyway, but it's definitely worse at the moment. And I think most people are affected by it. Most of the time don't have any control over who your flatmates are. So I know people that kind of had a couple flatmates, but they've gone back home, so they're the only one. And it's definitely affecting mental health badly.
I'm Barry, I'm 71, I'm retired. I was working as a steward at Manchester City, so I was getting loads of games, regular games. I was doing my walking football, fishing, so I was quite busy seeing my grandchildren, babysitting for my granddaughter, generally just running around after my children, my grandkids. Well, it came to a full stop really, because the football finished, so I had no work. That was difficult, because from being active to doing virtually nothing, I couldn't go fishing, I couldn't do my walking football. So yeah, it just came to a complete stop. In that job, you're meeting people, you're socialising, you're having a laugh with the fans that come in, and all of a sudden that just went. So virtually on my own, because you couldn't see anybody to talk to. So it was difficult, very difficult. I finished up doing like 30 press-ups a day just for something to do. It's difficult, but it has to be done. If we're going to beat this, we need to all stick to the rules. And it's hard not socialising. It's part of our human nature to mix with people. But we just need to stand strong and firm and stick to the rules. When things are back to normal, I'd like to go and see my family again, relax with my family. In the house, in the garden, go back to my football, get back to work, and generally just to socialise as we used to, and not be afraid of being, this 2 metre distancing, having a proper conversation, shaking hands with people, hugging people, they're all the things that we're missing. It's difficult, but that's my hopes anyway.
I'm Beryl, I'm 73 and retired. Now I'm widowed. I did have 4 students staying with me from all over the world. In fact, we've done this for many years, and up until March this year I had 4 in the house. And so life was busy. I had a lot of things outside of the house I'm involved in. And then suddenly in March, because I had to shield, I had to say to my students, sorry, you're going to have to go and find somewhere else, which was very sad. Then all my activities stopped, and for the first time really in many years, I was on my own. I felt very vulnerable, and in fact, in many ways, I still feel vulnerable. I never thought I would. I always thought, oh, well, I can cope, and, it doesn't matter what happens, I'll get through. I felt forgotten. There was a lot of talk about people on the television and such like, but I suddenly felt forgotten. Well, first of all, I gave myself a good talking to. I'm very good at that. and then I thought, right, I've got, 18 hours when I'm not asleep. That's got to be filled with something, or I'm going to sit here and wallow in self-pity, loneliness, and vulnerability. I'd always been a gardener, but my garden became important, and of course we had a glorious spring, which did help. And I took up hobbies of embroidery. I started writing a course for psychology for my U3A group, and before I knew it, it was sort of 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I thought, this is going to work. I think we've got to look at the positive. it will come to an end. All the pandemics eventually do. If you can, keep in touch with people via the phone, via Skype, via Zoom. I have about 16 meetings of Zoom a month at the moment. Look ahead, think of others, and think, okay, what I'm doing now is actually helping.
My name's Daisy and I'm 10 years old. Oh, well, it's changed because we have done lots of Zoom calls instead of actually seeing people, and in lockdown it was mostly just like backing up a bit from the door, knocking on like your family's houses and like just saying hi to them and seeing how they are, and then not being able to give them a cuddle. It's not very fun anymore. Made me feel very sad not knowing that I can run up to my grandma or my Nana Jean and my Nana Jean's partner Alan, just making sure I can give them a big cuddle, but I can't now. We have seen her one time. We went up for the day and had like a little picnic there, and then we went back into lockdown, so we can't see her now, and we don't want to go round, give them something and make them ill, and then we're the ones who have gave it them. And she keeps sending me cards because I can't see her, and in the card she's gave me little quizzes and little games to do, and it's very nice for her to do that. And I send her little cards back, or if we've not got any cards or anything, I just call her and say thanks for it, and I'll try and get it back to you. I miss her very, 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 very much. Everyone's moaning about it and wanting it to go away so they can see their friends and their family, but the only way we can do that is making sure you're social distancing, wearing a mask and sanitising your hands and washing them. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going down to my Nana Jean's, giving them a big cuddle and getting everything back to normal, like making sure I can go swimming, I can go to a trampoline park, and I can do all the fun stuff again and just get life back to normal. Even if you're getting bored at home, you've probably got loads of things that you can do. You can make stuff, and you just need to do your bit in making sure you're keeping everyone else safe, and that's how we can get back to normal.
Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Manchester International Swim Meet is a moment away from getting back underway here. It's led by about a minute, I've been told. We will be seeing Adam Peaty very, very shortly as he goes in the men's 50 metres breaststroke. You'll have James Wilby and David Murphy for company. He didn't have much company in the heats this morning. He looked smooth and strong and cruised to 26.99. Looked mightily impressive.
Manchester 2021 Manchester International Swim Meet. Please welcome to poolside. You've got finalists in the men's 50-metre breaststroke.
And here they come then. Swimmers out on poolside for our next final. Still got loads to come this evening. Over the next half an hour or so. Some great races in prospect. It's a heavily Loughborough influenced field here. Archie Goodburn out in lane 2. Teammate James Wilby in lane 3. He's got very used to swimming alongside Adam Peaty in the last few years. David Murphy and Kyle Booth are the Oxford and Cardiff contingent, and we return to Loughborough with Gregory Butler in lane 7.
Finalists in the men's 50-metre breaststroke.
Away first time. Peaty's underwater work so good, gets away really well, and he's into his stroke rate, which is just quicker than anyone else alive, really. It is phenomenal to witness. Just wonder if he's going to empty the tank here and see just how far he can push this. He's on for a very quick time. Be a little bit quicker than we saw this morning, I think. 26.75 from Adam Peaty to take the win. Super performance again. James Wilby, much improved from the morning. with a really good swim, 27.79 for Wilby in second place. But Adam Peaty, 26.75. Just looks like he's never really been away. It's amazing to watch. He's spoken in the last few weeks about needing to find a different sort of mojo. He usually gets his games and his championships confidence from swimming in meets and national championships ahead of the big one. Won't necessarily have that ahead of Tokyo. He's going to have to find inspiration from elsewhere. But his action in the pool so far has been stellar. 26.75 for the great man. His weekend will now, having had the 100 last night and the 50 tonight. Solid weekend's work for Adam Peaty. Let's take a look down on poolside. Can see him and James will be just returning round through the lockers. Smile on the face of both. Two of the leading lights of British swimming at the moment, the two breaststrokers already pre-selected for the Tokyo Games, along with Duncan Scott and Luke Greenbank. Will be James Wilby's first Olympics, it'll be Peaty's second. I know he set so much precedent on his legacy. Tokyo may be, well, you can never truly know with an athlete as great as he is. It might be the last time we see him at the peak of his powers at an Olympics. Although you wouldn't rule it out in 4 or 5 years' time, him coming back and continuing to push the boundaries of what's possible in this field. Just a great athlete to watch. We've got the multi-class event now in the 100, in the 50 breaststroke. This is Lyndon Longhorn, the SB3 swimmer. He was getting a little bit of support from up in the gallery, as well he should too, having to swim on his own in this event. Lyndon off and racing. He's the British record holder in this race. He set 57.94 back in 2016 in Glasgow. Let's see what he can produce for us this evening. Lyndon's been swimming at a high level in the paraswimming circuit in this country for many years now. Still by no means old, mind. He's just been doing it an awful long time. Still in his mid-20s. What sort of time can we see from him? He's just over a minute at the moment, so he's going to be a little way outside of that record that he posted a little while back, and he clocks in at 66.10. Decent swim there from Lyndon Longhorn. Seven races to go then this evening.
106.10, 370 points.
Our next one's a belter as well. Women's 50 metre fly. It is the Manchester International Swim Meet, and international very much the flavour for the 50 fly, as the Two quickest through in qualifying earlier were international swimmers Marie Wattel of France and Louisa Hansen of Sweden, both based at Loughborough University, but representing their countries here at this international meet. They were 5th and 10th respectively, Wattel and Hansen, at the World Championships in Guangzhou in 2019 in this exact race. The likes of Freya Anderson, Laura Stevens, Harriet Jones have got a real test to see if they can bloody the nose of two of the top swimmers in the world in this field and in this discipline. Here they come then. And you can see immediately, just on sheer size alone, Marie and Louisa are built like 50 fly swimmers. They're long, they're lean. They've got great power in those shoulders as well. Interesting to see what the British ladies in the outside lanes can produce, notably Anna Hopkin, who's a fantastic sprinter. There's Freya Anderson, who's very much from the same school of sprinting, swimming physiques. The tall figure has been producing some fantastic swims for the last few years in Britain and starting to produce on the world stage as well in the last few years too. It's been a joy to watch. She's more typically a freestyler. What can she produce in the fly here against two of the best in the world in Marie Wattel and Louisa Hansen. Away in racing, it's a good start from Louisa Hansen. Just got marginally ahead there of Marie Wattel just off the start, but Wattel is just starting to regain that advantage now. It's going to be fairly close as they come towards the wall, but it looks like Marie has the advantage. It's going to be Louisa in second place. Challenge coming from Harriet Jones, but it is going to be Marie Wattel who takes the win. 25:51 for Marie. That is a quick time as well, let me tell you. That is 100th of a second slower than the time she set in that world final in 2019, which was a PB. So that just shows the standard of that time from Marie. 100th of a second off, equaling her personal best. That was some swim from the French athlete. And she wins the 50 fly event by a bit of a distance in the end. Super swim from Marie Wattel. Hansen second and Jones in third. It's been interesting to see what sort of swims we've been able to see put together from across the spectrum, really. You can see just by the reactions of some of the swimmers that they're a lot more relaxed, they're not too expectant on times or results. And you can see from the times of some of the swimmers that they're right in the groove for some of the best they've ever felt in the pool. The Guangzhou competition in 2019 was a huge event. It always is the year before games. No one knew about the threat of COVID-19 at that point. And it was all guns blazing for every single athlete. And the fact that Marie is up there with the time she swam in the final to come fifth is some going, let me tell you. Great swim from her. She looks pretty happy as well. Just taking a look down on the pool side. As well she might. That 100th of a second may well stick in the craw, but swimmers are a picky bunch. It was a fantastic swim. Got the multi-class iteration coming up next, and some really high hopes for young Ellie Chalice in this next race. There she is, making her way to the pool deck, followed by Ellie Robinson and Leah O'Connell. Ellie had her breakout event in 2019 at the World Championships in London and was brilliant in that championships as well. Chalice and Robinson are the British record holders in this event. This is Robinson's favourite discipline, I'd wager, 50 fly. It's one she shot to attention to with the swim in Rio in 2016. And she's quick out the blocks here. We'd expect Leah O'Connell to go a little bit quicker. She is an S7 swimmer, but such is the quality of Ellie Robinson as an S6. She did qualify quicker. I wonder what sort of time Ellie can produce. Her British record is 35.22, and she's going to go fairly close to it. It's a quick swim, this, from Ellie Robinson, just a little bit outside of it, stops the watch at 37.06. You can see by the number of multi-class points how high that is. It's a good swim from Ellie. Now then, in comes Ellie Chalice. She also owns the British record in this event, 58.3. Time is ticking over. She's just going to miss out on that. That's ticked over just right now. So she's just going to be a shade outside of that standard. Still a very good swim there, 61.71 for Ellie Chalice. And it's Ellie Robinson who ends up taking the win in that race on multi-class points. Was a good swim that from Ellie. And he's now got that transition to handle now. She'll be heading into what will be her second Paralympic Games after watching London on the telly and debuting in Rio, winning the gold on debut in the 50 fly. She's now inspiring the next generation as she was inspired by Ellie Simmons. Doing a pretty good job of it too, I might add. We move on to our next final as the men's 100 metres freestylers make their way to pool deck. Charlie Brown over in lane 1. He's got Harry Constantine next to him. Matt Richards goes in lane 3. European Junior Champ in 2019. Ahead of that man in lane 4, Jacob Whittle. Tom Dean goes in lane 5. Andreas Vizaios of Greece goes in lane 6. And Jarvis of Bath goes in lane 7. Elliot Clogg in lane 8. I remember speaking to my good friend James Goddard once about the sort of impression that swimmers can leave on the poolside as they get ready for a race, and the mind games and the mental warfare. And one of the things he mentioned was your attitude and what you look like, and where I'm going with this is, I don't think I've ever seen a beard as thick on a poolside as Callum Jarvis's. That attitude might well be, you know, I'm still in training, I'm not got a competition to shave and taper down for. This is just all part of the process. You'll still be quick mind, I bet you. Man who was quickest in the middle lane this morning was Jacob Whittle. Swam a brand new PB, beating the time he set at those European Junior Championships that I mentioned in Kazan in 2019. The overall winner of that event was Matt Richards. Whittle eliminated in the semi-finals. But Whittle has made good progress with a PB in the heats this morning. He might need to better it though to win the event tonight. In lane 5 it's Tom Dean from Bath who has the advantage, but Vizaios is coming on his right. Whittle and Richards on his left. Who's going to get the touch? It might be Richards. It is Tom Dean who clings on. 49.65 for Tom Dean. He improves upon his time this morning, and in the end it's Matt Richards who's touched out just by 0.2 of a second or there or thereabouts. Jacob Whittle for the second time in a day goes sub 50. Couldn't quite improve upon his time that he set this morning. Those results are confirmed. It's Tom Dean who gets the edge over Richards and Whittle. A win for London Raw over the New York Breakers. I was having a look down on pool deck, and one thing that struck me is just watching Tom Dean to come back in, get his belongings. The amount he's bulked up over the last couple of years has really taken me aback. I remember when he was first breaking through as making that transition from junior to senior, and he was always tall, but he's added some serious 100-meter freestyle sprint bulk. Certainly one to watch for the future is Tom Dean. We've got the multi-class race next up in the 100 free, and we round off the evening with the 100 breaststroke for the women, and then the men's 200 fly will close things out for day number 2 at the Manchester International Swim Meet. Here come the multi-class finalists then. Jonathan Booth, Jordan Catchpole, Dylan Broom and Michael Jones. Jordan Catchpole back at it again. It's his third race this evening, I think, which is some going. Yeah, he's from the 50 backstroke, the 200 IM and now the 100 freestyle. He will have earned his dinner tonight, that's for sure. He's got Dylan Broom alongside him, just as he had earlier on in the 200 IM. And Mikey Jones and Jonathan Booth for company on the outside lanes. So similar story, it's a multi-class race. We've got an S9 swimmer in lane 3 in Jonathan Booth. Catchpole and Broom are both S14 swimmers, and Mikey Jones swims in the S7 category. Almost certain that Jones will finish 4th of 4, but such is his speed in the S7s, he will be a big challenge to the top of the table when it comes to those multi-class points. Here we go then, 2 S14s as you might expect. Quickest off the mark. And the man in lane 4 is off the quickest. Jordan Catchpole has been really impressive so far this meet. He looks to have made some really good strides. Broke a British record yesterday, equalled it in the evening, and has produced several wins already across the first couple of days here in Manchester. He might well produce another. Let's keep our eyes on the clock. What sort of points tally can Jordan put up? It's a good one. 831 multi-class points is very decent going. Jonathan Booth and Dylan Broom will tie with 731. In comes Mikey Jones. 742, so another win for Jordan Catchpole on multi-class points. 831 for him. 54.78, close enough to the world record to give him a decent points total and to give him the multi-class victory. It is a Great Britain who owns that world record, by the way. Reese Dunn. I don't think swimming here this weekend, haven't seen him yet. I think he's missing from this meet. He broke the world record in Berlin last year. Or the year before, I should say, 2019. 51.52 is such a quick time for the S14s, it really is. Alright then, 3 more races to come then. We've got 2 in the women's 100 breast and then the men's 200 fly to round us out. It's a great final coming up in the women's 100 metre breaststroke tonight as well, just as it was yesterday in the 200. Few eyes will be on Molly Renshaw in lane 4, who seems to be swimming some of the best swims of her career this weekend. British record yesterday in the 200. She tied Jocelyn Uliet's effort of 2017. It was Molly's first PB in that event since I think 2016. She swam really quickly this morning to qualify through in 67.56. Now personal best is 66.73, so about 0.8 of a second off her all time, which she set in the World Championships in 2019. Ended up in 7th in those World Championships, did Molly. She was 5th after the semi-finals. That was the time that is her personal best. Let's just see what she's got in the locker here this evening. She's got plenty of competition though, that much we can promise. Lily Booker looked really, really good earlier in the 400 IM. She bookends the meet with the first and one of the last swims. Imogen Clark is the British record holder over 50 metres. Katie Matz goes in lane 3 for City of Manchester. Molly Renshaw in 4. Sarah Vasey in 5. There's Jocelyn Illiet. Kayla van der Moa goes in 7. And Georgia Coates in 8. And it gives us a smile from the camera as well. Stacked field this. Really, really high quality race. Plenty of swimmers with international pedigree. What can they produce in this 100 breaststroke final? Away first time. First to emerge in lane 5 was Sarah Vasey. Moves quickly up into her stroke. Molly Renshaw with a little bit of work to do here as we head to the wall at the first 50. Going well is Katie Matz too in lane 3. And in lane 2, Imogen Clark, as you might predict from the sprinter, is away very quickly as well. This is where Molly should start to find her feet into the final 25 metres here, but this has been some swim from Sarah Vasey. She looked excellent yesterday in the 200 breaststroke heats, where she swam a really, really quick 100 before tailing off after that turn. She's got the speed, and she's bringing Molly Renshaw with her here. This is going to go right down to the wall, finishing really quickly as Imogen Clark too. What sort of time are we going to see here? It's going to be quick, and it's Molly Renshaw who gets the touch. 67.38 for Molly Renshaw. She goes quicker than she went this morning. Sarah Vasey just touched out in the end, pushed Molly all the way. Imogen Clark likewise, a really strong swim, just 0.07 of a second off Sarah from second to third. So not quite personal best good for Molly in the 100s, but after a performance yesterday in the 2, things are certainly looking very rosy for Renshaw. Likewise for Sarah Vasey too. Another good swim from Sarah there. And Imogen Clark really just such a threat over 100 metres. And she's got that 50 metre speed to burn. Great race from the girls. And we should see another one as well in the multi-class event here. Ellie Simmons, Louise Fidders and Maisie Summers-Newton to come. Here we go then. 3 ladies all making their way to poolside. And I know it's a sensation that Maisie Summers-Newton has got very used to, but I'm sure it's always still a moment to be really pleased with whenever she gets to share the pool with the swimmer who made her take up the sport. Ellie Simmonds brought a new generation through of para-swimmers. It's easy to forget that Ellie is still only 26 years old. She's by no means a veteran in terms of age. In terms of experience, there's a few who have more. 2 gold medals in Beijing in 2008, all of 12 and a half years ago. She's won a gold medal at every Paralympic Games since. She'd love to make it 4 from 4, of course. Maisie Summers-Newton, a world champion as of 2019. And Louise Fidders is an S14 swimmer of great potential. Similar to Jessica Jane Applegate, come out the East region, swims for Hatfield at club level. And she'll be off the quickest, make no mistake, the SB14 swimmer. We'll keep an eye on Louise's time. See how quickly she can go. We haven't seen Jessica Jane or Bethany Firth at this event. And those two really have been the gold standard for the S14 classes, at least in the women's events for GB for such a long time now. Louise Fidders may be the next generation. She has 25 metres to go here. Towards the wall they come then. And it's going to be Fidders who will finish first. This will be a good time, this. She's not too far off the sort of standard of Bethany Firth and Jessica Jane Applegate. 835 points shows that. Now then, this is about Summers-Newton and Simmonds. What can Maisie Summers-Newton produce here? It's another good swim. I think she's going to take the multi-class win here. She's not far off her British record time. No, it's not quite going to be enough. Will be Louise Fidders then who gets the multi-class win. A good swim from Maisie Summers-Newton, 136.93. But a super swim from Louise Fidders means that she will take the multi-class victory with 835 points, 695 for Ellie Simmonds. So great work from Louise, who takes the victory in the women's multi-class 100 breaststroke. Penultimate race of the day in the books. Having a great day here at the Manchester Aquatic Centre. Day 2 of 3 of the Arena Manchester International Swim Meet. One race still to come. It's the men's 200 butterfly. Got Ed Mildred, James Guy, Max Litchfield and Charlie Hutchison still to throw down for our final race of the day. Been another great day in the pool. Really am enjoying every minute of these championships, of this meet we'll call it. It has been glorious to be back at what feels like a big event. And at least in terms of scale, it's not a big event. There's not enough athletes for that. But in terms of talent, absolutely no question of the sort of impact this race will have at the top echelons of the swimming world. But in terms of events in general, really is a great show of what can be achieved with a lot of hard work and a lot of willpower. Tentatively speaking, of course, we are only halfway through, just over at this stage. I suppose we'll only know the impact of it once we're all said and done. But fingers crossed, touch words, cross your toes for good measure. Everything has gone swimmingly, pun intended, so far. That's great credit to a lot of people and groups who've made that happen. And let's hope it's shining a light ahead for more events, more swimming to come soon. Culminating, of course, in the big one, Tokyo 2021. It's been interesting to hear the swimmers' comments in the last year or so. Obviously no Tokyo 2020. For some swimmers, they've embraced the grind and they've used that opportunity to prepare more. For other swimmers, they'll be looking at the calendar thinking a little bit more negatively. Was my peak in 2020? Is that my opportunity gone? It's an anxious time for everyone at the moment, and no different for an elite swimmer. Every single one I've spoken to has just been so pleased to be back competing. Ed Mildred, James Guy, Max Litchfield and Charlie Hutchison are our lineup in our final race of this evening session. Ed Mildred was a bit of a standout yesterday in the 100 fly. He broke the British age group record for 17-year-olds, in coming second behind James Guy. Big smile to the camera from Max Litchfield. So too from Charlie Hutchison as well. There is that sense of enjoyment from our swimmers, and it has been palpable. They are so happy to be racing. Here we go then, final race of the day. Mildred, the young pretender, in 3. James Guy, multiple world medalist, in 4. Litchfield, likewise, in 5. The Scot, Hutchison, in 6. Away we go. It's Guy who's got off to the quicker start. Doesn't swim too much 200 fly anymore, James Guy. He's condensed his schedule down from what he used to swim as a whippersnapper, to enable him to progress further and quicker those disciplines in which he's really made his name on the international stage with. But he's a brilliant fly swimmer and always has the gas tank to be able to produce some top swims. Let's see what he can do in this one. He's off to a flyer, know that much for sure. Halfway point 53.89, that's quick from James Guy. It's only a few seconds off his personal best pace for the 100. He's going for this, going hard. 200 fly, one of the most grueling events you can do. That's why Max Litchfield loves it. He loves the grind. He loves the hard yards. 400 IM is his usual bag, but he's a very, very good fly swimmer. He might just edge out Ed Mildred here, but no doubt about who's going to win the race. This is James Guy. From the moment he took off from the blocks, really massively impressive performance from Jimmy Guy, who comes in 1:56.34. Terrific swim from James Guy. That really was superb. Considering it's an event he doesn't really swim anymore. Great effort from James Guy. Ed Mildred 1:59.33 touches out Max Litchfield in 1:59.62, and Charlie Hutchison just missing out on the 2-minute barrier with 2:02.55. And that will do us, ladies and gents, for another day. Really hope you enjoyed day number 2 of the Arena Manchester International Swim Meet, brought to you by the City of Manchester Aquatics Team, Manchester City Council and British Swimming. We've still got one more day of action to come tomorrow. Loads more events on the way. Loads more of this country's top swimmers and paraswimmers giving it everything for one more day. Do join us tomorrow. We are live with the swimming from 9:30, and finals at the same time again of 5:30. We will see you tomorrow for day number 3. Thanks for joining us for day number 2 from myself, Stephen Jameson, all the production crew and all the people who've made this wonderful event happen so far. Thank you for being with us. Look forward to seeing you soon. In the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow morning. Good night.